Alright, welcome everybody to the first match of Sunday for WC round of 16. We have a great match coming up. South Korea as the 8th seed up against Germany as the 9th seed. I'll be commentating this match, Vordi, and along with me have the illustrious T1G.
Oh man, illustrious. That's a new one. Hello, good morning. Thank you. Yeah, this one, man, like, you just look at this matchup, just the teams alone, and I think, immediately get an idea that it's going to be a good one. These are, Germany, on paper, super strong team. South Korea, on paper, super strong team. They come out every year, no matter who they put on their roster, and they're always good, whether or not you've heard of half of the players or none of the players. It's just, they always have a good roster. And of course, Germany got a bunch of known names as well, so very excited for what on paper at 8 versus 9 seed is always a banger matchup.
Yeah, South Korea just as a country is always a scary opponent to face. And I think there's a nice skill set mismatch with both teams. I think Germany is a lot stronger on the standard mechanics, hard rock, speed. But South Korea better on maybe some of those weirder hidden, some of the gimmick maps. So I'm keen to see where the contest lies,
And this pool, despite being kind of small, I think supports that sort of, skill set variance really well. You've got things like the Nomad 4 Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1 and 2 that support, kind of the gimmickier teams. And then this pool has a pretty solid Nomad 2, DT1, DT2, Free Mod 1. So definitely options out there for those skill sets to really be on display. And that feels like it's the case at every level. Like, it trickles down through the rank ranges. Like, these countries are good at similar things, whether it's OWC, 3WC, or 4WC. Like, the skill sets are just the same at every level.
Yeah, it happens a funny amount. I mean, something in Australia, I swear Australia is just like mechanics country, almost no rating. It's actually kind of weird that the Australia 4WC team has such a good rating roster, because that's just not an Australian thing at all. But I think for South Korea and Germany, they kind of follow the types of skill sets you would expect to see in their OWC rosters.
Like to see, I think, probably a lot of variance in picks in this match, like you said, and
they both rolled 40.
All right, well, that's starting off. Let's just go straight to tiebreaker, I guess. They're tying the roll. Let's go straight to TV.
I think it's the first time I've seen that.
I've seen it.
I'm sure you have.
It used to happen, I feel like, a lot more often. Like, any time that people would roll within a certain amount of time of each other, like if they sent the roll command on the same server tick, it would give them the same result. I haven't seen it as much lately, but back in like 2018, 2019, I'm dating myself here, I know, you used to see that actually not infrequently if they timed their roll commands correctly. I don't know how the server does the randomization of the roll, but it's gonna be Germany winning the second time around, so
I think it gives them second ban, first pick, I want to say, just by default.
I believe you're correct. So,
I imagine South Korea bans a hard rock here.
Yeah, I think South Korea probably bans a mechanics map, and Germany probably bans a gimmick map. I guess I am open to being surprised, but that seems like the expected outcome here. And I feel like also we've seen like a pretty decent spread of bans over the course of yesterday's matches. We saw DT3's ban, we saw Hard Rock 2's ban, we saw DT2's ban, we saw Nomad 4. Like, we've seen a fair amount of different bans over the matches. So
I think Hard Rock 2 is one of the most banned maps. I think before this it was banned like 4 or 5 times, and having it banned against Germany I think is completely fair. It's a very high skill cap map.
But Germany banning Nomad 2, so actually we just don't know what their skill set is, I guess.
Huh.
That one's super flow aimy. Very, very challenging stream shapes, I guess, like those Mazarin stream shapes, So
yeah, no, it's a brutal number too.
Yeah, flow aim has to be on point. All right, so now if they want to just completely shock us, Germany will first pick Hidden 2. That
No
would
shot.
be the weirdest thing I've ever seen in an OC tournament in my life.
Feel like they just go for. I mean, I was gonna say speed is something Germany might pick into, but after the Nomad 2 ban, I mean, Nomad 2 is mostly flowing, but still a bit of tapping in there. But maybe Hard Rock 1, DT 1. Free Mod 3 is pretty Hard Rock favored. I think if you have a really good Hard Rock lineup, that is a very good pseudo 6.5 you can go for. And considering the Hard Rock 2 ban, might be a good direction to go. Because I think it's a lot harder Nomad and Hidden than it is Hard Rock on average.
I think that's kind of the case with this whole free mod pool, really. You have like bigger circles on free mod 1 and 2, so it kind of supports Hard Rock, and then free mod 3 being CS5 Air 8, a lot of players are going to choose the precision aim over the low AR Hidden. This does feel like a kind of Hard Rock favored free mod pool in general, and there is that free mod 3, so
Yeah.
bingo! Free mod 3 it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if we
Routing.
see like routing. That's the
That's
old.
not free mod 3.
That's the last week's free mod 3. There we go. Free mod 2. Yeah, I imagine we see 3 Hard Rocks and Hidden coming out from Germany. Really don't see why they wouldn't go like triple Hard Rock here.
Yeah, and if South Korea is anything like their OWC team, they go like 1 Hidden, 1 Hard Rock, 2 Nomads or something. Like, I don't expect them to overmod like I do Germany. But this will be this is like a tricky map to start off a match on, right? Since you're either going 6.5 or you're going Air 8, possibly with Hidden.
Yeah,
it's
also a bit of a nerve test for the 6.5 players.
Like, you're not at that point of being settled into the match yet. You know, you're still like getting into the groove.
Yeah, it definitely starts off tame at the very least. I think misses early on are pretty brutal. Definitely picks up towards like the last quarter. It's where you see a lot of the hard patterns. But this start, you know, not too bad.
Yeah, no, the ending of this map is very, very tricky. That's actually the case with a few different maps in this pool, right? Like Hidden 2 kind of just spikes at the ending as well. What else? I feel well, Nomad 1, obviously like the hardest.
I think free mod 2.
Yeah, free mod 2, the ending's pretty hard. Free mod 1, it gets progressively harder just because of the stamina test.
Yeah, DT3 definitely picks up towards the end. I think the first half of DT3 is like pretty free.
Hard Rock 3 has that like crazy doubles pattern at the end. That's like the tech section kind of thing.
Wait, Hard Rock 3?
Or Hard Rock 2.
Yeah, Hard Rock 2, yeah.
Let's see a 6.5 Hard Rock.
Yeah.
What else? No, Hard Rock 1, like, I feel like just gets harder because it's always hard. But it's not like actually diff spike at the end.
It diff spikes like early, kind of early.
That like 5-note burst, space 5-note burst section, kind of in the middle.
That section is pretty brutal. The 5-note burst, but then going into the really tight reverse like kick sliders, which on Hard Rock you have to hold on for quite a while.
It seems, on a more relevant topic, we are awaiting Resoa, who is currently away from his keyboard, away from his computer. Hopefully.
Imagine from Germany we're going to see Rizzo run the semi on the Hard Rock and then probably Shiox on Hidden, I think. And I think South Korea, as you said, probably just going to go Hard Rock Hidden, just go for because South Korea is a much better, like, not much better, Germany's also a pretty solid AR8 team, but South Korea I think will be comfortable on no mods especially, and probably will have a really solid hidden player. So I think South Korea will be able to put on like a good performance on this. If Germany gets a few like nervous misses from their Hard Rock players, it could go sideways.
Yeah, I think it's easier to have trouble with a map like this on Hard Rock, like assuming all even comfort levels. Like generally speaking, it's easier to just like kind of randomly mess up. Also, we have an easy.
We have an easy instead of a hidden. Interesting. This is also another direction you can go this map. I think for really comfortable easy players, this might be like better to go for easy and secure that like 700, 800k score than go for a hidden and like risk missing. It's a good strat.
This is the first easy that I've seen on this, and I saw this picked quite a few times over the course of the day yesterday, so a little bit of a new wrinkle to things. And South Korea overmodding with hidden, by the way.
Yeah.
And 10,006 both running hidden, which I don't think I've seen anyone overmod this hidden. I think I've only seen this overmodded hard rock. Also, I think the overlay accounts for easy multiplier, correct? So the score should be accurate without having to do any mental math.
I believe, actually, I think it got fixed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gotten fixed now. And actually, we saw JGLF on Team Australia FC this easy yesterday.
Oh yeah, and they lost by like a tiny margin after the multiplier.
Yeah,
right?
by yeah, it's pretty brutal, like 20k score. But South Korea on a great start, 4 FCs to 2 breaks on Team Germany.
Yeah, and
this is Germany's pick.
It's two of the 3 mods that broke as well, and there's another miss from Semi, Resoa having the other break on the hard rock, so South Korea is going to need to have some struggles in the back half if Germany wants a chance at this one, because that's a 280k lead, and when you have misses on your easy player, I feel like it's like even more damaging, right? Because just the score multiplier working the way it does, it's really bad to have misses on easy since you're never going to get 1,000,000 points with easy in the first place.
You're already score capped just by picking the mod. I mean, it's possible for a comeback. The map does disspike towards the end, but South Korea is holding a 4-way 3-quarters in, so they basically need a full reset, and Germany needs to hold.
Yeah, no. South Korea is just eating this map alive. Crazy on the Nomad up there, just doing his thing. He is flourishing, vibing, staying in his lane. Had to fear 10,006 and Piper, just, you know, seeing it varying levels of back. And there goes Rezo again. I'm pretty sure this is actually over at this point. It's a 700k lead. This is not what Germany expected. I don't think they saw a 4-way coming from their opposition on the first map of the match. MX 10,006 breaks on that big wide-angled pattern, unfortunately, but damage is
it's matched by Rundi on Germany as well.
This is a disgusting score from South Korea. Oh, had to appear, no. Okay, but almost 3.8 million, and they win by 1,000,000 points as a break point on the first map of the match.
Yeah, that's a brutal start for Germany. Really well played from South Korea.
That is such a good score from South Korea, man. Wow, that's really, really impressive.
Feox with the Nomad FC as well, matching Kersey with a bit worse act, but I mean, considering the hidden performances, like that map is pretty brutal to be consistent on hidden. I think hidden 2 is definitely on the table for South Korea.
Yeah, that opens up. You know, I'll say this. So we talked about this pool yesterday in a match and kind of mentioned that if you are successful on one map, generally speaking, there isn't a lot you can take away from that because most of the maps in this pool don't have like a secondary direct equivalent. Like the closest thing is maybe DT2 Free Mod 1. But other than that, a lot of the picks don't have something that you can say, well, let's pick that because we won this, because the pool is so small. But yeah, I think, you know, the hidden 2 kind of looks like a good pick based on that result. But other than that, you don't have a lot that opens up. So that's kind of the fortunate side for Germany there, is that it doesn't mean that South Korea is going to automatically win like 3 other maps because they won this one.
Yeah. Maps are very varied, as you mentioned. I mean, even like Free Mod 2 is normally pretty comparable to No Mod 3, but in this pool, there's such different types of ult.
Yeah, there's, you know, I mentioned that there's like a fair amount of flow aim. I've talked about that before, but it's like different kinds of flow aim. So it doesn't overlap as badly as you might think when you see that there's kind of multiple maps with that skill set in it, because they usually are, it's usually secondary. Like Free Mod 2 is like flow aim cursor control. No Mod 3 is like kind of flowy, but also has some snap aim. Hard Rock 2 is flowy, but it's tiny circles, etc., etc. But they're gonna go Free Mod 1, so this is kind of going backwards of what you might have expected. Germany first picking a gimmick map, and South Korea first picking speed. So maybe not so on point about their skill sets trickling down from the OWC type of rosters for these countries.
Yeah, this one I'm kind of surprised because Germany played Free Mod 1 last week and got like a pretty solid score. They got the second best score of the round. But I mean, maybe South Korea is just secretly hiding their speed potential because I don't think they played DT2 or Free Mod 1 last week. So maybe they're secretly really good at this. Clearly, if they first picked it.
It'd be funny if we just saw both teams first pick one as break points by the other team by 1 million points, though.
That would be funny. And I think it's definitely possible on a pick like this. Germany should be able to play it.
Yeah, I mean, I generally expect Germany to be able to play this sort of thing. I mean, they've got some good speed players, and I will admit to being a little less familiar with this South Korean roster's raw mechanics potential. I mean, like, Athanasia is a player I don't know anything about, for instance, but we're early enough in the tournament, you know, this hasn't scaled to the point of the speed maps completely shutting out non-speed players like they do in late rounds, so it's a little bit more accessible at only 235 BPM in just over 2 minutes.
Yeah, I would say this map it's not that there's a few spaced-ish sections, especially for the hard rock player. I think hard rock players really need to be good on the skill set because of some of the spacing, but you can kind of mash through this in combo. Even if you don't get good act, you can still combo through the map. But it definitely is a step up from last week's Free Mod 1, for sure.
It's interesting to me as well, the move from this being a No Mod 5 to Free Mod 1 speed, like OWC did last year. I have such mixed feelings on that because here, at least in the early rounds, as well as there, it did still keep those maps in play. But once you get to the late rounds, it feels like the speed map just doesn't get picked anymore. Because nobody has players that can play Hidden and Hard Rock on 8-star speed maps. So I'm curious to see what that ends up looking like as we move through this tournament. But still, like you said, early rounds here, it's difficult but still accessible.
We have Rundi and Piper taking the Hard Rocks, and MX-10,000 and Kokona taking the Hiddens. No overmodding this time around.
Yeah, I don't think you expect to see overmods on this map. Just speed in general, I feel, lends itself a little less to overmodding unless you really are comfortable on speedy hard rock.
Yeah, and especially just with the OD10 and some of the spacing, like there's a pretty space burst coming up that's pretty brutal on hard rock.
And there go 3 members of Germany right before this little slowdown. Rundi, Zeitfrost, and Kokona all breaking into the spinner. And once again, now South Korea is just going to jump out to a pretty sizable combo advantage here. We're going to hit the middle part, and that lead is going to go wild if they stay on their combo.
I mean, this map is already really dense, but I swear it even gets denser in a moment with some of the larger streams.
Well, this is looking pretty good for South Korea once again. We're already halfway through. And their lead is only, quote-unquote, only 300k, but they have a 4-way against a single FC from Rezoa. And, I mean, there's just not much you can do about that. This is a ridiculously impressive start to the match from them, holding the 4-way through 3 mod 3 as long as they did, and holding this 4-way through that much of 3 mod 1, even if MX-10,000 is kind of mashing the crap out of this MX2 back.
Yeah. 2 drops from South Korea now kind of gives Germany a chance because Rezoa is still matching and Mundi and Zeitfrost have recovered. Piper dropping. I mean, if this map went longer, I think Germany could have recovered, but I just don't think there's enough time at this point.
Yeah, with us being at the very end, and it's going to come down, and it's going to make this look a little closer than it was through most of the map, but obviously not enough time left for Germany to actually make the comeback happen. Yeah, if this were, I don't know, 2 minutes 45 seconds or 3 minutes long, I think that could have happened, but unfortunately the damage had been done. South Korea just had that huge lead.
Yeah, I mean, nice accuracy on Rezoa. I mean, considering a lot of Germany's, I mean, I'm just saying actually, unironically, yeah, decent accuracy for next
Yeah,
league.
exactly. All right.
Nothing else. Considering a lot of the early breaks from Germany before that big space burst, I think they could have definitely gone the other way. I mean, Germany had accuracies that show they could play the map. It's just maybe not the run for them, but that's now South Korea up 2-0.
Yeah, the 3 breaks in that going into that slow section really, I mean, those were a 1 miss, a 2 miss, and a 5 miss. So I mean, if Cypheros and Rundy just don't break, like they both have C, and all of a sudden Germany wins that by, I don't know, 400k. So, well, no pictures on the scorecard. South Korea gets the point. And now, Germany, you've lost free mod 3, you've lost free mod 1. Where do you go from here?
I mean, if they're confident in their Hard Rock roster, I think you go Hard Rock 1. I think the unfortunate part about going free mod 3 and going the 2 Hard Rocks they went is your opponent doesn't have to also match you on Hard Rocks. They can just go a different direction, and South Korea did and had a lot of success. But Hard Rock 1 is a bit more even. The problem with Hard Rock 1 is it feels like even if you're a really good Hard Rock player, it's pretty hard to be able to consistently get really high scores just because of those like 5-note space bursts as you mentioned, but they instead go for no mod 3. And maybe
departure.
Yeah, this is a different type of map, but maybe they're going off South Korea's qualifier scores because I think South Korea's no mod 3 was one of their weaker scores. Maybe it's going in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, part of me just thinks as well, like, they feel like they need to change the skill set up pretty drastically because they lost those first 2 maps, and they want to go somewhere else, so they go into alt. This map has felt, generally speaking, pretty even between most of the teams when we've seen it played. A lot of players have done very well on it, but broken on, you know, one of the couple of diff spikes, and you don't see very many FCs. So it feels like a pretty level playing field instead of being favored to one team or another. But Germany feels like they have the advantage on it. I don't know if I feel like I agree necessarily, though.
Yeah, it's a very accessible and comfortable no mod 3. I want to say a lot more so than the qualifiers no mod 3. But it's also very consistent, has lots of missable patterns, which I think is why, you know, so many people don't FC necessarily, but at the very least I think a lot of people can play this type of map.
Yeah, I mean, it's by no means easy, but you can as a like moderately decent alt player get through pretty much all of this map other than what, like 2 maybe 3 patterns in it that you'll struggle with. So yeah. I think that's why we expect a lot of like 500-600k scores.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of like 400 to 600k in that range. You're not gonna see that many scores below it just because of how comfortable this map is to play.
No, but you're also not going to see a whole lot of FCs either. I think we've seen... I don't think I've seen more than 1 FC in any single match, personally, in the matches that I've watched, which is...
I think United States had 2 FCs, right, on this?
Do they have 2? I know they had Bat Ball.
They had Bat Ball and Cryptocurrency, I think.
Yeah, that might be true. So it's like 1 or 2, but it's not like a... Yeah. Generally speaking, it's not like a 4-way map, and it's not like...
Yeah,
it's not like both teams having multiple FCs, you know? But of course, now that I've said that, South Korea is going to come in and like 3-way it or something because that would just make sense. Or Germany will come in and just 3-way it because this is their pick after all. Athanasia, brother. The map has started, friend. That was not great. He's a little unhappy. He saw a little cursor dance.
You know, if there is a kind of map where you would get like 4 misses immediately, it's in Nomad 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Nomad 3s always, to me, feel like such chain miss maps because if you fall off of a pattern, you can just miss the rest of it really easily. I mean, I guess that's true of any tapping map as well, but generally I feel like people are a little more consistent on those. It's either like full-on chain miss because you lose the stamina or you hit it, whereas on Nomad 3 you can just break kind of at random in all patterns. So we'll see how they do in the Ki.
Node locked out.
Yeah. This is where stuff starts to get real. Once you get into the second half of this Ki, you get those linears into the squares. We had a break from Ahaf before it. Athanasia with his second break
All
in
on the
that
square.
pattern. Yep, and there goes MX-10006 off again. That's not as damaging. There goes Resto, so 2 FCs to 2. Coming out of this first Ki section, the score lead basically negligible.
I think Athanasia's accuracy is giving this a slight Germany favor at the moment. But other than that, the rest of South Korea is looking really comfortable. Germany, high-X across the board.
Yeah, this is more or less dead even. The FCs are holding really good act. If you look at MX-10,000, you look at Semi, Zeit, Frost, and Piper basically dead even as well. So it is really just that Athanasia act that you mentioned at 96.
But it's just going to be up to those FCs, because I highly doubt all 4 of those FCs are getting through the next diff spike.
Yeah. And honestly, I've mentioned this like every time. We've seen people miss in this kind of little build-up section before the next Ki as well. Like, it has happened here and there. It feels like one person in every or every other match has broken in here somewhere. So just something to watch out for. But they all made it through this time. I don't know. It's just felt like kind of random misses there, but everybody feeling a little bit more comfortable this time. So we're dead even going into the last Ki. Piper and Rezoa immediately trade, but that's way worse for South Korea with Piper on the FC now gone and Athanasia falling as well. And now Germany just has to hang on for like 10 seconds and they'll have won this pick.
Yeah, two FCs to 1. They just need a bit more time. MX-10,000 is doing their best, but Difrost does drop. Semi kind of has to hold now. There's still enough time.
It's Semi and 10,000 matching, and then Ahaf and Ahaf and 10,006 both matching as well, which gives Germany enough to hold on. Very closely fought all the way through this one. We're gonna see 1 FC per team, but the backing score just a little bit stronger for Germany. 100K.
Yeah, just a bit more team consistency. Side Frost holding on just a little bit longer made the difference.
And that is a very nice performance from both MX-10,000 and Semi. The FC on both players, 5 100s for MX-10,000, 7 100s, and 150. 50, huh? I don't feel like you see too many of those that aren't slider breaks, but 700s and a 50 for Semi. So Germany on the board. Still down the break point, but that's going to help, that'll probably give them a little bit of confidence, able to win their own pick, able to perform well in the clutch moments of that map with Semi holding on and the backing combo doing what it needed to through the last Ki. So, see if they can build up.
Good for Germany to get back into the match. They just need a break point at some point to consolidate. I mean, so far, a lot of... I mean, other than Fremod 3, Fremod 1 and even that Nomod 3 were pretty close.
Yeah, and I wonder, does South Korea go into the other speedy tapping map with DT2 after winning Fremod 1? Or do they, once again, like Germany just did, kind of switch up the skill set? Because that's generally what you're going to be doing in this pool anyway, as we've talked about. But they do have an option here of kind of re-picking a skill set with the tapping DT2 available to them.
Yeah, you're right. They go for it. Just speed abusing.
I can't believe Germany is getting speed abused after everything we said before this match.
I'm pretty surprised. I mean, and even then, the Fremod 1 wasn't like one-sided.
No, not at all.
It was a miss or two from Germany taking it. Like, that could have gone the other way very easily. So South Korea clearly confident in themselves going into this DT2. It's I mean, it is quite a different type of map. It's less on pure stamina and more just on speed. It's a much higher BPM, 263. And it has like a few patterns that are pretty brutal. There's one pattern that's really, it's like a slider into a 6 note, into a few jumps, and that one is kind of silly. So I expect to see somebody miss on that pattern as we get into it.
Yeah,
I imagine.
There's, like you said, there's just those like couple of tricky patterns, but for the most part, this one feels fairly straightforward. As you like the speed aspect of it, kind of being the most important, and that's what you know, is most of the map is made up of just like speedy bursts. It's not a lot of those aim sections, but there are enough of the little slider patterns thrown in to just make it a little bit less comfortable for a pure 100% speed only wooting tapping player.
Yeah, wooting abuser. But I mean, because it's 262, it does become a lot harder to single tap in the free mod one. That might make, you know, some preference changes for the players. So I would say the finger control on a map like this is a lot simpler to get through when you're single tapping.
It looks like we are set to go. So we're going to see Piper, 10,000, Athanasia, and Mouse Player against Resoa, Zeitfrost, Rundi, and Kokona, which I believe is the same rosters for both teams as Free Mod 1. Also, what is this background? What is that? Is that like raw beef on top of rice? I am not entirely sure what I'm looking at.
Is it like fried chicken?
It doesn't look like fried chicken to me.
I
don't
know
know what kind of fried chicken you're eating that's red.
No, it doesn't
fish?
have the shape.
I guess it could also be like tuna.
Oh, it might just be like, yeah, tuna. Fair.
But the shape of it does not look like fish, and it doesn't have the kind of striations like tuna would have, generally speaking. I don't know. It's just bothered me ever since I first saw this background. I can't tell what it is, and I don't know what it has to do with this song. Like, normally you get, like, tech matte background, you know, that's like some girl with headphones on or something.
Yeah.
And this is, like, meat on rice.
It kind of reminds me of, like, you know, like those buffets? Like, buffets you see at food stalls and stuff. Kind of reminds me of, like, that kind of buffet orange chicken. That's my guess, but...
All right, well, we've got a couple early breaks coming out here. You've seen Athanasia, MX-10,000, and Piper all missing from South Korea, but on the other side, Zeitfrost with the break, and Rundi as well.
Oh,
it's
the
a double
doom pattern.
It's
Everybody
a double
gets my mind blown.
I think you might just be skill issued, I'm sorry.
Maybe. Yeah, 2 FCs and a good supporting combo in Germany.
And they're still losing, by the way.
Yeah, is it an active?
They're getting act
They're
getting act yeah. South Korea has 398, had 398s and a high 97. They finally dropped some act, and so it goes over to Germany, but this is actually active currently. The 94% on Zeitfrost. And Kokona missed like the last note of that stream. That's a big combo to drop. That was
That's
an FC.
a massive combo. Yeah, Germany were actually taking it back just because of the combo, but now South Korea has a massive advantage, especially with Rundi dropping as well.
Yeah, I think...
MX-10,000.
Our mouse player looking clean. Best stack in the lobby, and the FC still intact.
Accuracies in South Korea are actually really impressive. This is not a super... I would say this is... Actually, no, this and Free Mod 1 are both kind of hard to hack.
Yeah, I mean, OD 9.8 at 263 BPM with some tricky tapping patterns and some sliders thrown in as well to just make you lose a little bit more ack on. Definitely not the easiest thing in the pool to keep good ack on, but mouse player is really showing off what he's capable of here. Resoa, by the way, also playing this very well. A little bit lower on accuracy, so it kind of gets glossed in the shuffle, but a very solid performance from him. Unfortunately, it's just not going to end up mattering, so we're going to get an FC from mouse player. We're going to get better backing combo from the players from South Korea, and they just kind of held on through that entire thing, right? I mean, 1 FC to 1, but just better accuracy and slightly better backing combo for South Korea.
Yeah, man, and I think makes it a completely fair pick. That wasn't won by like luck. That was won by just more comfort on the speed skill set. So, no, good pick from South Korea. But I think that's basically all the speed gone now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's pretty much no tapping left in the pool.
I think considering the No Mod 2 ban in retrospect from Germany looks a lot better after this pick from South Korea.
Maybe Rundi should have had his caffeine. You gotta have caffeine to play tapping maps, brother. Come on, man.
That is a fact.
I can't even play tapping maps with caffeine, but that's a skill issue.
Caffeine plus wooting, otherwise you can't go above 240 BPM. It's just not allowed.
Caffeine plus wooting plus genetics. It's truly the method. So, we go back to Germany. They picked the No Mod 3, won it. And what else are the options if you win a No Mod 3 here?
I mean, Free Mod 2.
Free Mod 2?
Free Mod 2 is a map you could go for. Hidden One? Nah, not really. Hidden One's more like a stream map. I guess Stream Mod 2 is an old map, but it's a bit more gimmicky, and because it's free mod, you have to have a hidden and a hard rock player, but I imagine Germany has that.
It felt like they had decent mod players from the other 2 free mods, so...
Yeah. Go a different direction. Like, I think DT3 feels like something Germany could play. It's like a high AR aim map.
Also, like, would be kind of out of left field a little bit, but we could. Okay, they already picked. So I was gonna say they could pick like a Nomad 1 or a DT 1 or something if they wanted to go into some aim, because we really haven't seen any of that yet. But it's gonna be Nomad 4 instead. So this is a map that we have not seen much of. I don't feel. It's been a lower pick rate map in general. The kind of slider tech with the fun little slider triples. Nomad 4 this week.
Yeah, the slider triples are a highlight of this map. I'm kind of surprised they picked this, to be honest. Just considering South Korea top scored tech in qualies, and I think they're a pretty good tech team.
Yeah, South Korea feels like it's always good. Like every South Korea team is just always good at North Force.
I think this is the first real the round of 32 tech map wasn't really a tech map. It's more of an aim map with sliders, but this is a tech map.
Also, this song is so sick. Like, this song is so good. I was thinking of hosting a poll. What map slot has the best songs? But I think Nomad 4 would just win, immediately.
I think you're right. I actually think when I look at my playlist, what songs from OC do I actually put on a running playlist? Mm-hmm. There's a high amount of Nomad 4s, even though I don't really play the skill set. There's a lot of bangers in that.
Yeah. The songs are just generally good. So talking about the actual match here, but I think will be interesting again in much the same way Nomad 3 was, right? This one's pretty short, and it is accessible to people who are comfortable with tech, I guess, as much as Nomad 4 will ever be. Which means that, again, I think we can see a very closely contested map in much the same way we saw a very closely contested map on Nomad 3.
Yeah. I think in a similar way on Nomad 3, it's just very hard to be consistent on this map just because of the spaced triple sliders. It's going to be similar to Nomad 3 where we see a lot of middle scores, but Nomad 4 is probably slightly harder than Nomad 3, I want to say. An FC on this map, I think, is a lot harder than an FC on Nomad 3.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is going to be a map where we see very many FCs, but, ready and willing to be proven wrong. There's an early break from Piper right at the start. And, even in this quieter section, these are not the easiest sections of slider aim. You have to be able to follow these sliders quite well, and there's 3 resets already for South Korea. All right, this is a go next fast angle. Apparently.
Maybe, especially with how short this map is. We're already almost a quarter in. It's not a dense section of the map, so it's still very recoverable, but South Korea maybe not super comfortable after hyping them up on their quality score.
Yeah, I don't know, I just generally expect these teams to be comfortable on Nomad 4s like they are in OWC, but here we go, this cool little triple slider section. There goes Semi,
3 breaks from Germany.
Shiox, and Piper, so this is actually pretty interesting. Oh, it was interesting. Crazy breaking as well, though. That was the last FC for South Korea. He was matching Zeitfrost. But now it's Zeitfrost, the only FC left in the lobby. 10,006 is making it through this pretty comfortably. Pretty decent accuracy as well. I think that's highest in the lobby now.
Yeah, highest in the lobby.
Over 98.
I mean, I think there's... ooh, that's unfortunate. I think there's still another div spike. If Zeitfrost drops and MX 10,006 carry holds, South Korea can't take this.
Yeah, they need a little bit of backing combo as well. There is 1006 and Dad's Pier,
okay.
though. That's going to do it, I think. Not a lot of time left, about a quarter of the map to go. Crazy and Piper on some combo, but you've got Zitefrost on an FC and Shiox and Aha folding as well. South Korea made a little bit of a run at it for a while there. You thought maybe the opportunity was in hand, but Germany proving a little too consistent through some of these diff spikes as Zitefrost continues to hold on to his FC. This is really impressive stuff.
This is an insane score from Zitefrost right now. If he can carry this all the way through.
And shoutouts to Ahaf as well. That backing score of over 500k. The only other player up at that tier in the lobby.
Yeah, Alhoff matching Kurzi's score, but Zitefrost uncontested with an FC. Very impressive on a map this hard.
It's 850k FC, but it's an FC, so that's what matters.
It is an FC. It's this tech map, slider ends. What can you do?
You can pray. Yeah, that's well done from Zitefrost. Off of 97.8, by the way. That accuracy is really good. Just a slider break from him. That's the best ack in the lobby by a lot. So well done to those two players on Germany. They get another point. Keeping it close.
Yes. It's one of those picks where, now that I've seen it been played out, I guess it was a very smart pick, but I wouldn't have expected an outcome like that.
Yeah, I expected South Korea to be a bit stronger on that pick than they ended up being. But Germany, just too powerful. There is not any other slider tech in the pool. There is Hidden 1, which is like a sort of light tech thing. Hard Rock 1, which is kind of light tech but different. Fremod 2, which is like slider control aim. But no other tech slider aim in the match available. So again, the same sort of concept as we talked about before, where you can win one pick, but that doesn't give you anything else to immediately jump to. You're going to have to find the picks on your own. The pool isn't going to do it for you.
Yeah. South Korea go DT1. I'm not sure. This is an interesting pick because this is a very comfortable map. I want to say it's maybe the most comfortable map in the pool to get an FC on. And just because of that, it's kind of a scary pick. Because I know both teams will be able to play this. But, considering South Korea's performance on the DT2 on the free mod 1, just on the speed, I expect their accuracy maybe to be better. And just off the accuracy and just being more consistent on average, it's probably still a good pick for them.
Yeah, you actually took the words directly out of my mouth there. I was going to talk about the accuracy aspect of it as well. Very, very much in agreement there that South Korea looked more comfortable on the speed by virtue of their act being so much higher than Germany. And with this map having several decently long bursts, they're slower than the free mod 1 of the DT2, but they are still present. I think it points to perhaps just a little bit more comfort at the high BPM tapping stuff. But, to mention aim again, we haven't really seen an aim map in this match. Technically, I guess you could count free mod 3, but other than that, and this map has a lot of very comfortable aim, but it's still a skill set that we haven't really explored for these two rosters. So we'll be finding out a little bit. Again, I clearly don't know the skill sets of these teams as well as I would like to, but aim has historically been something that we've seen German rosters be good on. It's something we've seen South Korean rosters be good on as well. Not sure what to expect out of these 4WC teams, though.
Yeah, I think the aim for this map is as you said, very, very comfortable. I think other than nerves, we should see several FCs on this map. I think it's going to come down a lot to just acking the bursts and some of the speedy sections. I'm not even sure if this aim, the aim in this map is transferable to any other, the closest would be maybe No Mod 1, but No Mod 1 is a lot more spaced than lower BPM, which I think is a different type of skill set.
I was gonna say, No Mod 1, the jumps are literally twice as big, if not more. I mean, this is DT1 comfy aim. That's No Mod 1 full screen aim. So yeah, no, as we said multiple times, there just aren't transferable skills too much. The bursts transfer between a couple of maps, and the aim half transfers, but that's really the extent of it.
Yeah, and even like Hard Rock 1 isn't really an aim map.
no,
It's like
no.
kind of light tech, lots of flow aim. I'd say the hardest part of the map is the flow aim.
Can we talk about, by the way, really briefly, how much heavy lifting the phrase light tech can do about a map? Because, like, light tech can mean about 20 different things, but everybody kind of understands what you're trying to get at anyway, just by, like, hearing the phrase and maybe knowing the song a little bit.
I think it just means, like, it's like half conventional, but half techy. Not like, it doesn't go full tech.
Right. It's so funny though, because I've heard multiple people use the phrase light tech to describe that map, like, unprompted, and they all meant the same thing, but they were all separate from one another.
Yeah, and so far, everybody in the lobby, actually, never mind, Rundy.
Rundy needs his caffeine, bro. He broke on the stream. He clearly didn't learn his lesson.
Yeah, I mean, if he had caffeine as soon as he mentioned it, would have kicked in by now, would have been the difference.
Yeah, that's how, we'll pretend that's how it works. It's been, what, 10 minutes? I don't know if that's actually the case.
I have taken caffeine before I expected DT1 to be picked, and it works immediately.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
Next level strats, but the miss from Rundy is going to give South Korea a massive advantage, and we're already halfway through.
Yeah, because Rasoa broke as well, and there goes a second miss from Rundy. So it's not 4
broke.
FCs, well, 3 FCs and a reverse choke in the making against 2 FCs. Yeah. Like you said, this is a pretty comfy map. I mean, the act staying fairly high on basically everyone. There's a break from Mouse player. It's traded, but with Rasoa, who is the, kind of the better player to have it traded on. Still the 2 FCs alive on Kokono and Zypher.
Never mind.
Lard.
I mean, that basically seals the deal at this point.
Yeah.
3-1. So, like, just better accuracies on South Korea. Not much time left. I think South Korea could even 3-way miss on all their FCs and still win this pick.
Yeah, 678k, there's 300k, 400k left. Not quite 400k. Yeah, I think this is... Well, we might find out. There goes Piper on
but never mind. With Zeitfrost missing on Germany as the last remaining FC, I think it's over.
Wait, South Korea's doing it too. Because there's Athanasia also. If Germany had actually held, this might have gotten not interesting, but like more interesting than it is currently. You know what I mean?
Yeah. MX 10,000. Will they close it out?
Just one FC. That's all we ask. And it is.
I mean,
10,000.
I'm actually surprised to only see a single FC on this map, but
yeah.
Oh, but honestly, even the overall scoreline from South Korea is really solid. 740k as the lowest score. 900k is like still a really good scoreline. No low scores.
Can we talk about Piper Zach?
Oh wow. Okay, that is actually kind of insane.
I think that's the best Zach I've seen on this map.
Yeah, that is.
I haven't seen this map played much, but still.
This map is deceptively hard to get that good ack on. Like normally DT1s is kind of a high accuracy map slot, but getting 99.45 on this map is very impressive.
So now we come to the last pick for Germany. 4-2 South Korea lead. Match points in hand. Germany needs to win this and get a breakpoint to force tiebreaker. I
mean, it's possible, but pretty difficult.
I
wonder what you go for here.
I was gonna say they have Hidden 1, but like I don't really feel like they're a squad that's gonna pick Hidden. I mean, they could go Hard Rock 1. Technically, it is there. South Korea banned the other Hard Rock, or they could go Free Mod 2 and Hard Rock overmod it. So, I feel like those are the choices, unless you want to coin flip Nomad 1, but I really hate the idea of coin flipping Nomad 1. They're also DT3 kind of sitting there to the side. It's not been a very popular pick, but it is an available option if you feel up to the task.
I think DT3 is kind of scary considering DT2 and DT1. And also considering the Nomad 2 ban from Germany, the DT3, probably the hardest part is some of the fly near the end. Not sure if you really want to go for that. I kind of want to go Hard Rock 1 if you're Germany. It's a tough map, it's long, it's a little bit scary, but I think the Germany Hard Rock roster is really good. So I think that's where you would go, but at this point, yeah, there isn't like a really definitive Germany pick, but I think Hard Rock 1 is the best option.
Well, they're going Free Mod 2.
Cool, okay.
I mean, that was the other one that I was thinking it was either Hard Rock 1 or Free Mod 2. I don't know that I love this necessarily, but keep in mind that they won Nomad 3 and Nomad 4.
Yeah. Actually, no, that is fair. If those are their 2 wins, then this is the closest map to both of those skill sets.
It's sliders, it's kind of ulty, it's got some control aim, and I think Hard Rock 1 is a map that's difficult to be 100% confident about because it's so difficult. I mean, this is also very challenging. Like, this is a very uncomfortable style of mapping, but it's not nearly so long, so you can kind of power through it at, you know, less than 2 minutes. So, and they probably feel more comfortable about saying we can overmod Hard Rock this if we want to.
I wonder if you even overmod this. I mean, if you just have really comfortable... The problem with overmodding Hard Rock on this is even if you have C, it's really hard to act Hard Rock.
Yeah.
So that's kind of going to counter the fact that you're overmodding Hard Rock. I feel like it's better to just go, you know, Hard Rock hidden plus 2 no mods on a map like this, where it is kind of difficult to act on OD10.
It's a little bit cluttered though, right? That's the only thing I could think of, is if you want to reduce some of that node density. But yeah, otherwise, I can definitely see the kind of wisdom in just going Nomad. But
yeah, it kind of just depends on the player comfort. If they feel better on Hard Rock, it's still just better to go Hard Rock.
I have to think we'll be finding out shortly. There's everybody in the lobby, so should be setting up mods and getting going. We've got Piper Mouse Player, Crazy, Atapir, Semi, Shiox, Ahoff, and Zeit Frost. Big one here, you know, must win obviously for Germany now with those match points. There is maybe somebody will have some clutch factor. You know, we'll see who can pull up with a really good score, carry their team. Try to force at least one more pick from South Korea.
Bit of a nerve-wracking map. There's a few like early troll misses you can get, and then the ending ends up being pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, do I see? Is there no Hard Rock?
I think Ahoff has Hard Rock. Ahoff has Hard Rock.
Oh, it's his bug.
You can tell from where his cursor was going.
Yeah.
It's he has hidden Hard Rock. Okay, yeah.
Okay, hidden Hard Rock. I mean, it's fair if you're already going Hard Rock. A lot of players for the hidden. Shiox on the hidden, Curzy on the hidden.
As you kind of predicted, base mods and 2 no mods per team. No over mods. Early break from Mouse Player. Little tiny early advantage for Germany.
And I think you can just see like the no mod players and the hidden player in Germany, such high accuracy, and then Ahoff and Piper both on 96. it's just kind of how Hard Rock goes on this map. But
yeah,
so far Germany looking super comfortable. If they can get through the little ultram section here, I think they're gonna be in the clear.
Ooh,
Semi does drop.
Mouse
player matches.
Well, 200k lead, halfway through. You're gonna feel okay about that, but you don't have any sort of combo lead that you can coast off of. You gotta keep it going. Now you do. There goes Piper.
That is a big drop from South Korea. I think as long as Germany doesn't get hit too hard at the ending section, we're gonna get a relatively easy section now. Build up those combos.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good at this point for Germany. Not a lot of map left to go. 300k lead. They'd have to have a full collapse to lose this at this point. This is ending up being a pretty good pick. There goes Ahoff, but Crazy trades it. So no damage done. And Germany is going to ask the question of South Korea, forcing them into their last pick. Boy, how different this match could be if Germany had won that free mod 3 to start things off. We'd be flipped scoreline around, South Korea picking to try to force a tiebreaker instead of Germany needing a break point on the last map to try to force tiebreaker. But that's a really good performance. Double FC, accuracy, notwithstanding anything else. Double FC from Shiox and Zeit Frost.
Yeah, high scores from everybody on Germany. But now going into South Korea's last pick, I think I want to say the most obvious pick is Hidden 2. And I kind of say that based on the free mod 3, but at the same time, Germany also has a good hidden 2 roster. But I think South Korea kind of has an edge on the hidden 2. Because I think otherwise you have to go hidden 1, hard rock 1, nomad 1, or DT3, and all of those feel almost more like coin flippy, other than DT3, which I think is also an option for South Korea if they're feeling good on high AR.
I feel like it's DT3 with the DT1, DT2 free mod 1 wins. Like, just keep picking mechanics. It's obviously working for you. I feel like DT3 seems like the pick that makes sense in sort of that context. Because I don't know that I'd want to be like, unless I was super confident on it, I don't know that I'd want to be like coin flipping a Nomad 1. I mean, I guess the 3WC team did it against USA in that, semifinal, but still.
Yeah, no, you're right. They go for DT3.
Yeah, I think just run down the list, pick all 3 of them, and maybe win all 3 of them.
This is, more rating focused than pure mechanics, but, if you're comfortable with 10.3, and you just get through a few of the flow aim sections, a bit of the, hard to read sliders, you should be fine. Really expect to see a lot of the players who played like DT2, DT1 going in for this map.
I'm just nervous for everyone because this map is so easy to just not do great on, I guess.
Yeah, it's not the kind of map you want to play for tiebreaker. It's a 1 minute 20 seconds, but the first half, I want to say like the first third of the map is kind of free. So it's really like 40 seconds that are going to decide the outcome of this match. It's kind of funny.
So let's see, we've got Piper 10,000, Athanasia, Rundi. I guess they're taking some time and putting some thought into setting up their rosters for
I wouldn't be surprised if they're giving this a try in solo, just to like adjust themselves to 10.3. This is the kind of map, honestly, it's not a bad idea. Because you don't have time to like adjust. You kind of just have to hit the ground running with how short this map is.
Yeah, you gotta be really ready to go. That's kind of an aspect of these short maps that I like as a viewer, but I could see it being more challenging as a player, where it's nice to watch like no downtime maps, but it's definitely a little more nerve-wracking as a player.
Yeah.
Also,
Germany taking
surely they've got to have exhausted the timer by now, right? Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I think if they have, maybe they get like one freebie. I'm not sure if the rules are around that, but
I'm not entirely sure offhand how that sort of thing is getting handled, but I mean, this is a long wait here to start this map.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a route, but we're getting into it now.
All right. Well, minute 20 seconds after that lengthy waiting period, we're gonna have a map that's about half the length of the time we just waited to get into it, and maybe South Korea will win, or maybe we'll force tiebreaker. We're gonna find out right about now. Everybody holds through intro. You see the act drops, kind of be expected. 88 on 10,006, down at 90 on Rundi. He still has not had his caffeine. 91 on Zeitfrost. So act lead for South Korea, and there's break from 10,006.
from Rizoa.
That's
oh,
trades.
Mash, okay.
It's trades. It's just dead even. So you've got 3 FCs against 3. Act lead once again going to South Korea. That's giving them this 50k score lead. There's a mouse cursor on slot 8, so I cannot see Rezoa's combo. There we go.
But now the map starts, and these next 30 seconds will decide if a tiebreaker happens.
Oh boy. All the pressure in the world on Germany. They've got to hold on all 4 members through this and hope that South Korea finds a break or two. And it's 10,000 and 10,006 both breaking. Runny trades, but it's 50s to 2 and a backing combo on Rasoa.
Yeah.
It's Rasoa's backing combo that's making the difference here. But there goes Light Frost, Athanasia, Rasoa, and Shiox as well. And now it's just Piper off to the races. And it looks like he's going to carry this one for South Korea now. No FCs left on Germany, no combo left on Germany, no hope left for Germany. And Piper is going to bring this one on
drops, in. But okay, that is a nutty FC.
Wow,
that is
Piper.
A nutty FC from Piper.
Wow,
Carrying
Piper.
that map to, save them the trouble of a tiebreaker. I mean, well fought from Germany, but yeah, not much. This is a really tough map to actually FC, especially near the ending there. Not much you can do about that.
Yeah, I mean, I said before, who's going to be somebody with a clutch factor coming into last map? Turned out to be Piper. And that tiebreaker would have been scary because we really haven't seen any aim maps in this entire match, so I have no idea who would have taken it. That would have been a really great equalizer. South Korea manages to avoid it, and they take the 5-3 victory.
And they're going to be going on to verse France. Yeah, that's going to be a match.
Dude, these quarterfinals are so loaded. We have France, South Korea, we have USA, Thailand, we have Chile, China, and then we have the winners of the later matches today, Hong Kong, Ukraine, and Canada, Netherlands. The winners of those 2 matches facing off as well. The quarters are going to be so good. And I am at work all next weekend. Somebody please end my life.
Oh,
so
no.
sad.
That's brutal.
But I think that actually does it. It's our only match in this block. We don't have a 14 UTC match. So we come back in an hour at 15 UTC. I'm not sure what exactly the stream schedule is. I think we're getting Vietnam versus Indonesia in the losers bracket before that Hong Kong Ukraine winners bracket match at 16 UTC. So make sure to stick around for those because you're going to get some more great OSU action going on today into the afternoon. Wow. But yeah, well done to South Korea. Commiserations to Germany, but they dropped down to the losers bracket. I think they face off against the winner of, is it Saudi Arabia, Spain, or Malaysia, Finland? One of those 2 winners.
I think it might be kind of undecided right now. It depends on how losers bracket probably pans out.
Let's see. It will be loser of 26. Yeah, no, it's the winner of Saudi Arabia versus Spain. Will be Germany's opponent. Still be waiting on that one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah. So we'll be back in an hour. Thank you for watching. I've been T1G. He's been Vordi. Hope you guys enjoyed the match. Hope you guys stick around for the matches this afternoon. But until then, so long, and have a nice day.
Farewell.